muscular globes of his ass.
Globes. Like snow globes. But of ass. Is that even anatomically possible? Sounds like something my Uncle Barry would sculpt out of mashed potatoes. After too many beers.
Please, that is a direct quote highlighted by a reviewer regarding a particularly vivid passage in this week's selection, Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. It exemplifies the tonal whiplash many readers experienced.
Whiplash? More like a full-on literary car crash. I thought we were reading some sappy story about a mute dude in Maine. Like Nell, but with more flannel and fewer Jodie Foster impressions. Turns out it's Nell meets Debbie. Does Dallas.
For the listeners just joining us, we are discussing Archer's Voice, a contemporary romance novel detailing the relationship between Bree Prescott, a woman fleeing trauma, and Archer Hale, the town's silent, isolated recluse. It aims to explore themes of healing and connection, though its methods are
debatable. This book is more confused than my cousin Vinny trying to assemble IKEA furniture. It starts all sweet and sensitive. Mr. Silent Hermit is scared of his own shadow. Probably irons his socks.
He's traumatized. He witnessed a horrific event as a child, leaving him physically unable to speak and emotionally scarred. It's meant to be poignant.
Poignant. Okay, fine. But then, halfway through, the poignant hermit gets a haircut, and suddenly he's Casanova. We go from 0 to 60 on the smuttometer. 1 minute it's gentle hand-holding. The next it's globes, apparently, and extreme wetness. My copy practically steamed up.
The narrative does take a rather abrupt turn towards explicit sexual content, which caught many readers off guard. But let's discuss the characters. Archer Hale, portrayed as deeply vulnerable, almost childlike in his isolation.
Childlike. The guy's 23 and a virgin. That's not childlike, that's just sad. Like finding out Santa isn't real and he drives a Prius. And Bree. Oh, don't get me started on Bree. She rolls into town. Conveniently knows sign language because her dad was deaf, yeah. Right? Pull the other one, it's got bells on, and decides she's gonna fix the local mute guy.
She sees his pain, his potential. It's a classic wounded healer trope, arguably, though her methods, particularly regarding his integration into society and certain intimate encounters, raise questions.
Questions? I got questions. How does a guy who hasn't spoken since he was 7 and lives like a Unabomber suddenly become a sex god overnight? Did he find a manual? Was there a montage? And Breed, her big trauma, seeing her dad murdered, nearly getting raped herself, gone. Cured by one good romp during a thunderstorm. That is not PTSD recovery. That's a weather fetish. My neighbour. Brenda claims her arthritis gets better when it rains, but she doesn't suddenly forget her husband ran off with the pool boy.
The portrayal of trauma recovery is simplistic, to say the least. It borders on irresponsible, and the possessive way Bree sometimes refers to him, my sweet mute boy, is infantilizing.
Creepy, it's creepy. Like calling your goldfish my little gill brother. And don't forget Archer getting tricked into a strip club by his evil cousin Travis. Gets a lap dance, maybe spills his yoo-hoo. Is that cheating? Is it? The listeners want to know. If your mute hermit boyfriend cops a feel at the bada bing, do you dump him?
It's presented as Archer being naive and manipulated, a deeply uncomfortable scene highlighting his vulnerability and Travis's cruelty. It's exploitation, not infidelity in the conventional sense, though the author's choice to include it at all is baffling. almost as baffling as Archer just leaving Bree for 3 months with zero contact.
Right. Got to go find myself, babe. Might take a while. No cell service in my soul. I did that once. My ex found herself a new couch, and a guy named Chad. 3 months. I wouldn't wait 3 hours if my pizza delivery was that late.
So, the central question remains amidst the tonal shifts, the problematic tropes, and the globes. Is Archer's voice actually any good?
Good. It depends what you're grading on. If you want a book that gives you whiplash faster than a squirrel on espresso, 5 stars. If you want believable characters and responsible handling of trauma, maybe stick to textbooks. I saw one review. This lady was convinced her copy was defective, like someone swapped the second half with a sex manual.
A sentiment echoed by many. Another reviewer lamented, holy burning smokes. The story drastically turned into 100% erotica. Conversely, the 5-star reviews are effusive. Archer owns my heart and soul. Ultimate book boyfriend. It's incredibly divisive.
We got a listener email here, probably fake, knowing our producer from Confused in Connecticut. She asks, if Archer Hale were a sandwich, what kind would he be? Okay, I'll bite. He starts as maybe, plain white bread, no crusts. Then halfway through, someone slaps ghost peppers, raw oysters and whipped cream on it. Unexpected, messy, might make you sick. What do you think?
I refuse to engage in gastronomic character analysis. It's absurd. The book attempts sweetness but drowns it in melodrama and questionable spice. It's like a Hallmark movie directed by, well, someone who writes about muscular globes.
See, you're coming around. Maybe the smut saved it. Maybe without the extreme wetness, it would have just been boring. Like that awful book about the sentient rutabaga you made us read last year.
The gilded root was allegorical. You just didn't understand the socio-political commentary inherent in the tuber's struggle. This is just confusing.
All right. Judgment time. Give us the damage.
For its initial premise and moments of genuine tenderness, I might have offered faint praise. But the problematic portrayal of trauma recovery and the jarring tonal shift, I give Archer's voice 3 out of 10 conveniently acquired sign language skills.
Weak? So weak. Me, I respect the chaos. It was a ride. A weird, sticky, uncomfortable ride, but a ride nonetheless. I give it 6 out of 9 awkward virgin sex scenes. Almost a nice score.
That's not how numbers work.
Whatever. Join us next week, folks, when we tackle a real literary heavyweight. Chad Goes Glamping. A tale of tactical gear and existential dread. Sounds uplifting.
I need a sabbatical.
You've been listening. We're probably getting cancelled. Bye.